Happy Thursday, Grace family. I am Talaire, and I am here with Miss Paula. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Good. I'm so happy to have you. On Sunday, Pastor talks about when it doesn't add up, and then the pie of relationships. And then he also talked about false expectations. And I know false expectations is what brought you here to Grace. So can you tell me a little bit how you landed here at Grace?
Absolutely. I had been invited to Grace probably a couple of years before I actually came. I was going through a pretty challenging period in my life, and I really had false expectations. That was the pastor's first point on Sunday. And as I heard the message, and that point became, was really important to me. I had not been going to church for some time. I was raised in the church. I should have been in church. I had just become disconnected because of various reasons.
Okay.
I was dissatisfied with some of my intimate relationships. I was dissatisfied with my job relationship, my performance at my job. It was affected. I was just a wreck. We went through a lot of challenges at my house. Financial sickness, it was awful. And in the process, I lost my job, changed jobs, and with the new job, I became very, I was kind of on the front line, dealing with children and families and so forth. And I really needed to be in a church. And I had been invited to Grace for quite some time. And so when I first came, I can remember pulling up on the parking lot and the feeling of when I came to the front door, the greeter welcomed me. It was like I was coming to a family reunion. I was that long lost brother, sister, or cousin. I was greeted warmly. And I remember thinking, wow, this is really nice. And then after I came in, then the ushers greeted me again. And I really was surprised. And when I sat in the pew, the people in front of me, they turned around, they greeted me. It was the warmest welcome I had ever received. And that really stuck with me. Yeah. And when I visited again, consistently, same thing. People invited me to Sunday school. As I became more familiar, people gave me hugs, greeted me by my name. It was an amazing feeling. I cannot say enough about the hospitality at Grace. And then I started coming to Bible study. And when I tell you, that's where I kind of snuck in. I said that I was joining under watch care. But anyway, I don't think there's such thing as watch care. I'm a member here at Grace with all the benefits of a member of Grace. And it is just an amazing place to be. Bible study and Sunday school, they really have kept me here. Our pastor has an amazing message Sunday after Sunday. My favorite, though, is the teaching of the Word on Wednesdays in Bible study.
Yes.
It is amazing. And I encourage anyone that does not regularly attend a church, Grace is the place to be.
That's so wonderful that you say that. Your testimony about how you found Grace is almost the exact same as mine. Somebody told me about Grace, and I kept saying, I'm not going to go, I was stuck at home, I got used to not going to church.
Absolutely.
I have minister parents. Both of my parents are ministers. So, of course, I grew up in the church,
Yes.
And then I moved here from Louisiana, and I was it just became habit of not to go.
Absolutely. I experienced the same thing. And my dad is a minister as well.
See?
Yeah. So I knew better.
And that's the thing. They say when you know better, you're supposed to do better.
Yes.
And then I started noticing things in my life that weren't going according, like I felt like I was always being hit by something,
Absolutely.
And it made me so heavy.
Yeah.
And so at that point it was like, okay, well, I'm gonna at least go try. And so I finally got up one Sunday morning because I'm used to going to church at 11 and 9 o'clock was way too early for me.
Oh man.
And trying to get a small child ready, you know, that was a struggle for me in the morning. So I finally came, and this has probably been the most I've grown in any setting of a church.
Absolutely. Me too, Talera. And that back to that point on Sunday about false expectations. The pastor mentioned that as kingdom citizens, we are, we can't expect people to fulfill us. We can't expect our jobs to fulfill us.
Exactly.
You know, our joy comes from the Lord.
Exactly. And then once you finally realize that, you know, your joy can't be found in man, that's one of the biggest takeaways for me from the message was I can't find joy in man. I can't find joy at a job. You know,
Absolutely.
A lot of times, like you say, we want those things to fulfill us.
Yes.
It makes us happy for the moment.
Right.
But then what happens when you go home?
Absolutely.
So if you can't carry that, you don't have that true joy on the inside of you to where it just beams out. Because a lot of people, like at work, I'm the cheerful one. Anytime something's going on, they're like, "Where's Talera at?" You know, because they want my spirit.
Yeah.
And that's something that one of the elder ladies at work told me about. She was like, we miss you sometimes when you're not here because we can tell the difference between when you're here and when you're not here. Mm-hmm. And I'm just thankful that they can see the joy inside of me.
Yes.
Because there has been times when there was none.
Yes, I can remember those days. Yeah.
Can you think of a certain a piece of a time that you would want to share of when you were just down to the very bottom?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Back in, I think it's 2011, 2012, my husband was very, very ill. Mm-hmm. I was very depressed. Mm-hmm. Our finances were a wreck. We were dealing with bankruptcy. We had just built our dream home.
Oh no!
It was a terrible time. I was just a mess. It was awful, and I saw the Lord work. I had a few close friends, intimate friends that I could count on to give me good, strong encouragement based on the Word. I had support from my family, and it doesn't seem possible, but like in the text, the pastor's text, when it doesn't add up, things turned around in a way that was just it wasn't supposed to add up. Yeah. We retained our home. I have a job now that's better than the job that I had before, much more flexible.
Yes.
I can take time off with ease. My husband fully recovered. He's had 2 or 3 surgeries since then, but he has been returned to his former state of health with minimal complications. My children are fine. I have grown in the Word. I feel closer to God. I'm connected to an amazing church family.
Yes.
Those experiences really showed me what God can do,
yes.
reminded me what God can do, and actually just turned that thing around. And it didn't add up.
Yes.
It didn't appear to add up.
Exactly.
But I am so grateful.
Yes.
For that experience.
Right. And that makes me think about, there was a couple of Saturdays ago, I don't even think Pastor knows this. There was a couple of Saturdays ago, we went to visit a church and we got back in the cars, everybody was getting ready to go. My car did not start. Would not start at all. And I was thinking to myself, I just got this from the Friday before. I had just gotten it from the shop. The guy said he couldn't figure out what was going on with it. It would not start for nothing in the world. So it was me, Glad, and the Rishers. And we were all trying to figure out why my car is not starting, at least just trying to get it started so I could get home.
Right.
I don't know why. We were there about 20, 30 minutes. And we didn't even think about adding in God. I don't know why nobody thought about that. But as soon as Glad was like, Lord, in the name of Jesus, start this car so this baby can get home. Why my car started.
Wow. Just doesn't add up, does it?
It didn't add up.
Wow.
And so if we would have thought about putting him at the forefront, we wasted 20, 30 minutes.
Wow.
But then that just makes me think, you know, he wanted us to go through that so he would get the glory in that
Absolutely.
instance.
And I think about all the time that I wasted at Bedside Baptist, you know, not connecting, just sitting there. I don't know what I was waiting for because I knew better.
Yeah.
But then when I accepted the invitation, you know, to join, to come and be a party, participate in the worship services. And it's like once I came, I continued to come and continued to come. Totally pulled out of my comfort zone, or else I wouldn't be sitting here.
You and me both.
I hadn't played the piano in over 30 years.
What?
Yes. I took lessons when I was a kid, and well, from first grade up until high school to my junior, senior year. And then after I moved up here in 1990, I didn't touch piano anymore until I connected with Grace. And Pastor learned that I had, you know, I read music and so forth, and then he connected me with Miss Ann.
Okay.
And she's no longer with us, but she's in our hearts, of course. And I have been helping out here and there when I can with the hymn.
Yes, well, thank you so much for joining me today. Everyone, remember that we do have Sunday service. Pastor will bring a wonderful message, and we do have our meetings this weekend, 10 a.m. If you need to send an email to let us know that you want to be in on the informational meeting, please send an email to graceumcarlington.org. Have a great week, and remember to experience grace.